Smoke me out, fam. With all the decades of dang shit. On my left, the oldest ninja in the world, old ninja.
Thoughts and prayers.
On my far right, engineers on the 1 to 2, choke people out on the 3 to 4 cross.
No thoughts and prayers.
And last but not least, we got your boy Blue.
Let's have a moment of silence. Okay, it's over.
Damn.
Damn.
man.
All right.
Damn.
Oh man.
This is gonna be a spicy one tonight. I can tell you.
One night, boy.
There is no F's given.
Ooh, it's gonna be hot.
This
We
is
got.
good.
There's gonna be coals and terpenes, gasoline, kerosene. We've fired it up tonight.
All right.
This one might be disrespectful, but you know what? I mean, I'm gonna try, at least for my part, not to be that disrespectful, but I might trample some graves. So yeah.
You gonna what was it BB Wong? He's the one that
pissed on the grave.
Pissed on the grave.
Yeah.
First of all,
I'll never forget that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, BD Wong lifted up his dress, squatted down, and pissed so hard that you could fucking hear it on Mr. Robot. That shit was very graphic. Very vibrant.
It was. And
You know how there's that. You know how there's that meme of like the Flash kind of like pointing at a grave or something like that. It's always like a meme of like we need something like that, but with BB Wong just squatting on the grave.
Yeah. All right.
That's great.
Statistics. Brandon Park.
Yeah, let's do the week.
Yeah. Brandon Park is the first in the chat. Thank you very much. He's been like solid viewer, like live, like for months. Thank you. And not first in chat. Sorry. Listener of the week would be Macap, and I can't pronounce your last name because it's definitely in Russian. You got.
Is it backwards R and all that?
It's like a U with an extra thing on it. Like the K is, I think that's the right way, but then like the N is backwards and there's a 4. So, but the 4 is backwards too, I think. Oh no, the 4 is the right way. I can't pronounce that though.
Okay.
Sorry.
Shout out to that guy.
Does it have those double dots over the vowels and shit too? Or?
Actually, no. Just like the little the U thing has like a special thing underneath it, but I don't know Russian, so or might not be Russian. Could be something that's just like former Russian, territory or whatever.
Former Soviet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey,
please don't drone attack me. I'm just saying.
All right. Old Ninja, you still with us? For whatever reason, I got a blank screen on you.
He's good.
You have blank on me? I'm here.
Okay, now I see. Maybe it's me. Oh, shit.
You're slacking on your pimping.
I am. This is a dangerous question, but are we pouring out anything?
Ask your question.
What are we pouring out, and for whom, if we are?
Wait. So for those who are listening via audio, I'll take a little sip. Let's see. What are we pouring out? I don't know what I'm gonna pour out. So I'm gonna leave it to viewer listener.
Some Grandma Lemonade, like from Batman versus Superman.
Nah, I'm viewer's choice. Listener's choice, or your discretion. There you go. Pour out your discretion. So we're going to pour out for conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was murdered today or assassinated, or he was killed at gunpoint at Utah Valley University today in Orem, Utah. He was shot through the neck, and it was a very gruesome scene. So there's that. He was 31, by the way. He was younger than I thought. There you go.
They age different.
well, the one thing is, I didn't know he's 6'5".
Yeah, I noticed that too today. Yeah, he's 6'5".
Yeah, I'm like, oh shit, because like if you look at the people he was surrounded in the crowd, he's taller than everybody. I'm like, god dang, he's tall as fuck. But yeah, there you go. So Charlie Kirk.
He was alive. No, he is not.
No, he's not.
Yeah. I disagree with one thing though, Old Ninja, just to start this whole thing off. I did see the video. and he died of a fentanyl overdose.
Oh my
He did
god!
not-
I was that was in my back pocket actually. That was that
Wow.
same
Yeah,
exact
he-
joke.
I don't care what anybody says. He
Yeah.
died of a fentanyl overdose. There was no. It wasn't the sniper or the shooter. It was fentanyl.
Yeah.
It was fentanyl.
I did not see that one
Fuck
coming.
what you
but
saw.
Okay. Okay, well played.
Fuck what you saw.
Yeah, I mean, y'all know me, listen to the podcast enough. Like I'm pretty much a pacifist. Even though I know how to do like a lot of things. But it was hard for me, and I watched the video, the close up one. It was bad. Like I knew right away. Like when I saw the video, I was like, this dude ain't gonna. He's not gonna fucking survive. Like unless he was like literally in the ER, or Mercy was next to him, like he wasn't gonna survive that fucking shot. So
Or he was Trump.
No, I mean, because Trump. I don't think Trump actually got shot, but whatever.
No,
That's
yeah.
neither here nor there.
I'm in the same
Anyway,
boat.
The guy, he's a very controversial figure, but I still will say I don't think he deserved to die for like what he said. Even though he said a lot of fucked up shit about people, people that I'm a part of a group of. He said a lot of things that I think were divisive, a lot of things that I think like ginned people up and made people feel some sort of way. Like, he lied to people on a daily basis, just lied to them.
Mhm.
And people believed him. And that caused a lot of strife in America to this day. But I still don't believe that he deserved to die. But it brings up a point of what's the line of what you can and cannot do with speech. I mean, we know that there are certain lines. You can't just say freedom of speech is like it's concrete. Like it doesn't mean you can say anything that you want. There are rules. There's a bunch of rules. Like hate speech is one of them. Like putting people in lives in danger, that's another one. There's like a lot of shit. But I don't think the guy deserved to die. But I think that we're at a point right now to where there's a line that's been crossed. I don't know if it's just with this guy or if it happened in the past. I was talking to Papa Bear about this. It's sort of like a recession. Like you don't know when the line's been crossed until after the fact. So this could be one of those moments to where, something that was a line a long time ago is catching up to us and it's going to keep going. Like the political violence is just going to keep fucking going. This might be another one in a long line of political violence, or this could be like the first big one, But I just think it's a really dangerous time in America, and it's crazy that this is coming from like the guy who got shot. He literally justified the Second Amendment by saying, if a few people have to die for us to have the Second Amendment, then so be it. So now he's part of that statistic. And I think that's incredibly fucking sad to me.
It's like that saying, like, live by the sword, or live by the pen, die by the sword, or something like that. Like, basically, his words basically came back and bit him, or I guess shot him.
If you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Yeah, but
But there's actually was other political figures that were killed recently. And like there's like a woman that died recently too. I guess she was a Democrat.
There was two.
And like,
well, she was the governor. It was her and her husband, where someone broke in and murdered both of them in their own home.
Mm-hmm.
And there was that the husband of Nancy Pelosi. He got like beat beat down with a hammer. He didn't die, but and what happened on like I'm not going to politicize it, so I'm going to leave that comment out. But there was things that happened like when that guy got almost killed by somebody with a hammer that is not occurring today. So I think most rational people, I don't say most rational people, because people are going to feel some sort of way. I'm not going to tell you how to feel about fucking Charlie Kirk, because if you tell me he's a piece of shit, I agree. I mean, he was a piece of shit, but still, me personally, I don't think he deserved to get shot like that and died. But I'm glad he didn't suffer, because with the video I saw, like he was pretty much gone. So
I'll say this. I don't tell people how to feel on this. I'm not all bent out of shape. There's been a lot of killings in this country. We've seen plenty of school children get killed, unfortunately.
Literally a week ago, right?
Yeah, it happens all the time. It happens so often that you literally have to say, well, which one? Any given week or month. All of those things are tragic. We'd like to prevent them. from a legislative stance, and every time we're told no, and calm down and don't worry about it, and thoughts and prayers and all of that other stuff. What I will say is, I'm going to reiterate that this happened in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
This did not happen in DC. This did not happen in Compton. This did not happen in Oakland. This did not happen on the south side of Chicago. It happened in Utah.
And what color is Utah?
You can make your own.
Make it political, yeah.
Yeah, you can make your own statements on that, but I'm just telling you where it didn't happen and where it did happen today, and those are just the simple facts of it of the matter. I will also say that had what happened to him happened to anybody on this cast or their family members, he very loudly and very publicly would praise the fact that that person got unalived. And the reason why I know that is because there's documentation of him saying and doing that over and over again when he was alive. And so, you can do what you want with that information, but the facts are the facts. I alluded to it, but let me make sure I say it very clearly, because some people, it may have gone over their head. When George Floyd was murdered, he claimed over and over again on camera, you can watch it for yourself, that it was not Chauvin that killed and murdered George Floyd. He stated very clearly that it was an overdose, despite what we all saw on video. So, again, that's just a fact. That's what he said. That's what he did. That's what he was about.
Yeah, and he said a lot of fucked up shit about people in Gaza too. Like basically that children over there deserve to die and all this stuff. I'm just like, yo, if you're on team that, I'm not on team that.
Yeah, before we started the cast, you guys were talking about basically his final words, because I guess they're trying to say like, oh, he was talking about peace, and he definitely wasn't talking about peace. He was literally talking about how I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was talking about how trans people have murdered. Somebody had asked him a question of how many people have died by trans in the last 10 years.
How many mass shooters were trans people?
Yeah, it was trans people, yeah. And Kirk's response was too many. But then the person that asked him the question was like, oh, it was 5 or 7 in the last 10 years.
7 in 10 years.
I think the person said 5, but I think you're right, it is 7.
But then he
10
asked,
years.
But then he asked, like, how many mass shooters were there over the past 10 years? And the answer is, it's like 5,700. And then right after that, he got shot. So he wasn't talking about love or Jesus Christ or anything. Like, let's not literally try to change the past when it happened like not even 12 hours ago. Like the videos exist.
Who? I'm going to ask it as a question. Who was doing security at this event?
The university.
Well, yeah. So that's. Sorry, go ahead.
Another problem.
So I wanted to point out that at one point, Charlie Kirk was part of the Trump administration on some kind of youth program kind of thing to recruit youth to get them to come out and vote. But he was not currently, as far as I'm aware of, actively a part of the administration. Because I don't think he doesn't have Secret Service coverage. He had regular security from Utah, the school that provided security for him. So, and the thing was, there was thousands of people in that crowd, literally thousands. So
yeah, somebody had brought up, should Charlie Kirk have had Secret Service protection? The answer is no, and fuck no. He should not have had Secret Service protection. Get the fuck out of here.
He's not a member of Congress.
No, he's not a member of fucking anything.
That's like saying, should what's her name? Jimmy Walker's girlfriend. No, the chick that keeps running her mouth. God dang it, her name Ann something. Like
Pam Bondi?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking
about.
Who
are you talking about?
Pam Bondi?
No, not Pam Bondi. Ann Coulter. Yeah, that's
Oh.
it.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
so she doesn't have like high level security either.
nor should, and none of them should. If you're a political commentator, you do not rate Secret Service. They just removed Kamala Harris's Secret Service detail. That's somebody who rates Secret Service detail for very fucking obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to explain it to anybody, but to have a political commentator who does not really contribute much to society. Nobody voted him in office. He doesn't have, he doesn't hold any secrets. He doesn't have a clearance. None of that shit. And for people to just suggest that he should have had Secret Service clearance, we're living in some fucking weird backwards time where, you could just talk, like, do I rate a fucking Secret Service clearance? No.
You should, man.
But
You
you know what?
should.
I used to hold I would rate one more than he would. I used to hold a top secret clearance. This guy didn't do shit. The only thing he didn't even fucking graduate college, neither did I. But, I'm not going around the world like, basically
Doing
bringing down
nonsense.
society. I'm not saying, these groups of people don't deserve the same rights as other groups of people. Like, I don't think he was a net good for humanity. But again, I don't think he deserved to die. So
Another interesting thing was that the college that he was doing his debate thing at. There was a petition that was signed. I think like
there's almost 7,000
like
people. Yeah.
yeah, like a good amount of people had signed for him not to be there, but yet the school still went off and had the event. I mean, he's been like in the other colleges too, where people protest him coming. Like he was here in Berkeley, and people protested him coming, and yet he still did his thing.
But all the more reason though, you can't say that you don't know that there aren't legitimate fucking threats if you have that level of backlash. And I'll get back to the question, and it hasn't been answered, yet because this is still so fresh. But wow, what was going on with the attempt at security?
Well, you can't. What are you gonna do? I mean, honestly, like a guy's literally just like speaking in a college. Does this person rate high security? Like.
Well,
hold on. Let me ask you a different question, Prodigy.
Okay.
If that's where we are in America right now, is that where you want to be?
I think that we are in a place where extremely controversial and polarizing figures in a open air setting with all the guns in this country and with all the risks and all of that probably warrants a whole lot of security. Unfortunately, I think we're already in that world.
Well, if you think we're in that world, then the security needs to be provided by him, not by.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me just be really clear. I'm not saying that it was the responsibility of like the federal government or the Congress. I'm not saying any of that.
Or even the college. To me, like not even the college is responsible for that.
Maybe not, or maybe it's partially them and partially him. I don't know how it actually works. I am saying though that given exactly what Blue said, and I read some of the same quick articles, there was a lot of pushback on this event, which it was no secret that there were quite a few number of people that weren't happy with him being there.
But
and some level of security needed to be there.
That's kind of how it is at all the locations he's been to. Because like how I mentioned, like even in Berkeley, there were people protesting him, even going there.
I mean, that's Berkeley though. Utah is California. Is Utah. Yeah. I mean, Utah's white as fuck. So let's just be honest. Like, what usually happens when like there's a mass shooter is that I don't know. I'll speak for myself as a black man. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm just like secretly hoping that the person that did the shooting is not black. And then when they said it was in Utah, I was like, oh, it's like three black people in Utah.
Black are trans.
So. But they haven't caught the person yet as far as like the starting of this podcast.
That
was another.
That was what was wild to me because I thought it was that Larry David looking dude.
Yeah, so remember, I posted it in the chat. I was like, listen to what the cop says. He said that he said the guy did it, but we don't know. And I was like, oh, like they don't know who actually did it. And so that wasn't the guy.
What's the name of that old guy that fell asleep with the glove that tried to run for president?
Fell asleep with a glove.
The guy who was a meme. He was at the president inauguration. He had like mittens on.
Bernie
like,
Sanders.
Yeah,
Oh.
I thought it was Bernie Sanders that did it. That's what the guy
Bernie
made me think of. I was like, all right, Bernie,
Uh,
get out there,
guy
get
with
those
a
votes.
glove. They were mittens, sir. They were mittens.
Those were
Wow.
hand knitted
Man,
mittens
by
too. They
that
were
probably,
not store bought at all. You know what I mean?
they're
You could
probably
tell.
they probably were wove together by his like great grandmother or some shit.
Yeah,
Oh my
in
God.
Vermont. You
That was
know.
Yeah.
hilarious. Yeah.
I mean, given the fact that the shooter's not been caught, the one thing that's been kind of underneath
That
my
was
skin a little
Mario.
bit is that
Luigi.
directly from the jump, it has been assumed that the quote unquote radical left is the one that killed Charlie Kirk, without without any suspect, anyone under arrest, without anything. It was automatically assumed through President Trump, through one of the one of the representatives from the state of Utah, and just like online, everyone kept saying this is what the radical left does. Charlie Kirk speaking the truth. They tried to stop him. They did stop him. Yada yada yada. Like, dude, none of this shit is true.
Well,
Like, you don't know. We don't know shit, to be honest.
well, this is
Talk
the
about
interesting part. This is the interesting part. Is like me and Papa Bear. We spoke for a little bit earlier today for like some rescue resident stuff, and he asked me, he's like, "Do you know how World War I started?" And I was like, "Archduke Ferdinand, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "This might be that kind of moment." And so I'm thinking about it. Like, this could be. Hopefully, it's not going to be, but it could be because you got all these people on the right that are just like slinging around. Oh, it's got to be some left person. Like the left's always violence, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, that's not, nobody even knows. And they're already just like so bloodthirsty to go after whoever on the left. It just takes like anything to cause even more violence. And that's where we are right now. And I don't, this is not a great place for America to be. I don't think it'd be like a world war, but it could definitely be a civil war in America. Like I'm not taking that off the table.
Yeah.
I will say, to interject, Archduke Ferdinand held a prestigious position, and he was bombed twice because the first two times, or the first time, failed, and he acted like nothing happened.
Well, but
and
still,
it took him to go down a street that they told him not to go down, and he ignored his crew. And he went down it anyway, and they blew him and his wife up.
It's almost like this guy should have been in a closed arena with metal detectors and shit. And also, Archduke Ferdinand was not actually. When you look at like history, he wasn't very important.
Nope.
I mean,
and
he was a royal family.
That's not very. He was not very important.
My question is, was he on the side of a Wheatie box?
Oh shit.
But with this whole Kirk thing, like, because we saw what happened with like Luigi killing the CEO of healthcare company,
United
and
Healthcare?
like United Healthcare, and like I didn't feel
allegedly still
allegedly.
It could have been Mario. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't feel bad for that guy. I mean, I didn't really know him, and Kirk, I don't really know him, but I just know he's a scumbag. And somebody had posted a video saying like, there's people out there saying like, oh no, this isn't the time to like make speak bad of the dead, blah blah blah. Like, you need to have empathy. And like a guy came out was saying like, yeah, you know what? We should make it normal. Like, you don't need to have empathy for some guy who probably hated you, some guy who probably downplayed your race. He said like off the wall shit that just made America not seem as great as it should be. And it's okay not to feel that way, not to have empathy for this guy. And you shouldn't feel bad. And that's like, at first, I felt kind of bad because he did die in like a pretty bad way. And the fact that you got to see it kind of made it a little bit harder, or a little bit more, I guess, realistic. That this guy literally just got sniped from 200 yards away with a rifle. But like, at the end of the day, like, I really don't feel bad about this guy. I mean, it sucks, but he was a piece of shit.
Yeah, let me just really quickly say this too, because I mean, obviously, as soon as it happened, of course, Twitter split in half. Some folks getting off some of the most off the hook memes I've ever seen, which were they were so good, and other people, talking about he's got a wife and kids and all of that, and trying to play it off like he's some saint or some martyr or whatever. The truth is, yes, there's plenty of video evidence of him saying cruel, hateful, vile things. That's just factual. You can't dispute that. And at the same time, we need to be just really clear that, you know, you're not trying to encourage or want people to have some violent, gruesome death at all.
Yeah.
But I want to be clear on this. There are plenty of people who shrug off the death of other people, especially in quote unquote marginalized groups, as, oh, well, or your own fault. And that happens so often that when you see someone who cheered that on reach their untimely demise through murder, a natural human reaction isn't to have as much empathy as you would for, let's say, the victims of a school shooting, when it's just school children. And
hold on.
I think that we can talk about
side note, there also was a school shooting today, a mass shooting at a school.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
This is America.
Wait,
yeah.
This technically was a school shooting too, right? Because I mean, it was on a.
God damn it, Blue.
It just wasn't. It wasn't a mass shooting. It was a singular shooting.
Yeah, it was just regular. Yeah.
God damn it,
It was
Blue. You might
a
have
school
a point.
shooting.
This wasn't.
So there's two things that happened with Kirk.
Yeah, it is what it fucking is, man. I mean,
it's not that I disagree with you. I just don't like the fact that when these things happen, that we have all these people that they're really dragging down the morality of America. And so for people to have like, little to no empathy for this dude dying, it just shows like how far down we've been pulled as a society. Because, we just allowed this person to, not only do we allow this person to do all these, like, say all these terrible things, but it was like he was platformed and championed by the current administration, who's the, the current president of the United States. Yep. And I think it's awful. I think we've taken more than a few steps back in America on a lot of moralistic levels that I don't know what the consequences of that are going to be. Like we're seeing one right now. Like, yeah, Charlie Kirk is definitely fucking dead. But we've seen, like, just look at, the person that's the president right now is literally a convicted felon.
Yep.
He was convicted of rape. Like, I'm sorry. When I say rape, people like try to say, "Oh, it was like sexual assault." To me, that's rape. If somebody said no and you still did it to them, like sexually, like that's rape. Like the fact that somebody tries to play semantics with that is a problem. And this is like sort of the problems that I'm talking about with like the scaling back of morality with like a lot of Americans, of like just saying these things are okay. And he was also found guilty of a whole bunch of other things. He's on tape about doing a bunch of shit. There's like a lot of shit that person in particular and a lot of other folks in power right now have done horrific things. And I don't know how America like really comes back from this. Like these sorts of things. Like it's going to take somebody like to go like really far on the left, but the left in America, as far as like the Democrats go, they're not really left leaning. And that's a problem. Like what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is like since Clinton, the people that have been on the left have still pushed for mass incarceration. That's not a left-leaning fucking thing. That's on the right. They still push for, continually to inflate the military budget. They still push for continually inflating, police budgets instead of actually investing in communities where they need the fucking money. Like you look at like the budgets for like a police department, and then you look at like an inner city, the police budget will dwarf the amount of like community projects that are going on. So like how many fucking like parks there are, libraries, community services, the police budget will dwarf all of those. And they'll wonder why is there so much fucking crime? Look at all these fucking super criminals that are coming around, all these fucking children that are, committing all these crimes, because they literally have no community services. And nobody wants to talk about that. It's going to get drowned out. And even the people on the left that are Democrats in office, except for like a very small handful of people that they'll call socialists, they're still pushing for the same right-wing bullshit of just let's keep pushing money towards these things that we know don't fucking work.
The only quick comment I'll make, and I'm sitting here nodding like, yep, on all of it. I would just simply say flat out categorically, the Democrats are a right-wing party as well.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, they just this thing about the Democrats being the left, no, the fuck they are not. You know, I have a long enough memory, and I know you guys remember this too. When Kamala ran just this past last November, she was further to the right than George W. Bush about 20 years ago and Dick Cheney. And that's how she got Dick Cheney's endorsement and his daughter and all of that. You could look it up. There's called the Overton window or whatever.
Yeah.
They've shifted far to the right. They're further to the right than Reagan or Bush Sr. or Bush Jr. was back in their day, just on all these different issues. So the only part that I just want to be very clear on, they're not a left-wing party. No, and even some of the folks that you are a little bit more on the progressive end of the Democratic Party, you could say they're leaning towards almost centrist, but it's a right-wing party. I would say the GOP is far right in a lot of ways, but the Democrats are definitely right-wing. They just are.
I mean, you look at it through votes alone in Congress. Like what they vote for, what they push through, what they're just okay with. Like when they look at like the immigration policies that they're pushing through, totally right wing. You know,
who kept funding ICE throughout all? Like look, it was bipartisan as fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
even in Obama's tenure, that he like had a lot of people
deported.
Deported. Yeah.
He deported more people than Trump has. But I think the thing was with Obama was at least they went through like an actual like judicial process. That's the main problem with. He didn't use terrorism, like to like deport these people. So and
he'd have fucking ads on the radio talk about if you're in our country illegally, we're gonna find you.
Yeah, but that's a fucking low bar for me to say that like this guy didn't literally commit terrorism to get people out of America. That's like what are we even talking about here? Like I said, you know, I'm a U.S. Marine, and the fact that we used to get sent to countries that are doing what America is doing today.
Yep.
You know, like a lot of the shit that we're doing, we're the bad guys.
Yep.
So
let's be perfectly clear, because I mean I know this is going to be a heavy cast, and we'll get into some fun stuff maybe towards the back.
Yeah, we will. Don't worry. We'll come back. Sorry.
I don't think there's some shit coming tonight.
But the Supreme Court literally just ruled and said, "You brown, you speak Spanish." I'm paraphrasing here, but for the most part, this is how it's going to be, leveled against people. You're brown, you speak Spanish, you have no rights. They get to swoop you up with their masks on, with no unmarked vehicles, no badge, nothing, and ask you for your where's your papers? Where's your papers? Get in this van. We gonna take you somewhere. We gonna kidnap you. You don't look American enough. You look like you don't belong here. Mm-hmm. We in some dangerous shit. And the other thing I want to say really quickly for Black folks who, for whatever reason,
say it.
Still delusional and thinking, well, this isn't us. This is only going to affect those people who are brown and Latino and Spanish speaking. Motherfucker, you will be accused of being Haitian or Dominican in a heartbeat, or Cuban in a heartbeat, whether you are or are not, or whether your grandparents were all born here or not. It doesn't fucking matter.
It's not. They don't even got to say like Haitian or whatever. They just say like you're not of American heritage.
Yep.
Like your people, you were not a citizen when this country was made. Therefore, your entire lineage is gone. So just get the fuck out of here.
Racial profiling from the standpoint of stop, frisk, detain, export is legal according to the Supreme Court, and it's only going to be used against Black and brown people. And I'm sorry.
Korean.
And Korean.
Well, they are still brown.
Yes.
So
yes. People
they're
of color.
They're brown underneath like the other than thing.
People of color is going to be weaponized against. It already is. and it doesn't matter your citizen status. It doesn't matter how your accent works or it doesn't work, or where you went to school and what you're wearing. You're gonna be swooped up, and you can be legally swooped up and just kidnapped.
You know what's so crazy is that like when Trump started campaigning on the whole "Make America Great Again," we all knew what time and a place America was great for him. But a lot of people just did not fucking see that writing on the wall. Like, it was obvious this was the era he wants, and this is like 1930s or even before that.
Yeah.
But the shit that happened with the Hyundai plant, where there was one. There's like a woman that called it in, right? She like said like, "Oh yeah, you need to investigate, blah blah," and they detained like over 400 people. And
400 is like 427 people.
She's gonna cost
in
like
a factory.
She's gonna cost like 4,000 jobs. I'm just saying.
Yep.
And a couple of $1 billion.
They don't give a fuck. They don't think about long-term consequences. Like even today, like with our current economic status, like we're kind of fucked economically, and we have a guy that's like literally turning the screws for tariffs. When like I'm pretty sure if we like, because I said before, you can't say you're in a recession until like kind of after the fact.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure we're in a recession right now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And like continuing to like fuck around with these tariffs things is just making it worse, because like no company likes like indecision or like uncertainty. People, they like things smooth. They like to be able to predict things. But if you can't predict like how much a fucking ton of steel is going to cost next week, like what are you going to do? So yeah, and like literally like Hyundai making another plant in America is literally what Trump was asking. And the workers that were here, they were South Koreans, and some of them had like maybe sketchy immigration statuses, which okay, that's fine. Like just like bring them into court or like serve them papers. Like don't go in, in force and like arrest all of them. And then, because then you literally stop the working on that plant. Like that's like if you're a pure capitalist, then that plant is kind of fucked. But also, it's like there's a good chance that like you could just resolve all that stuff and still have decent workers. Because like anybody that works in America has to still spend money in America, no matter what you do. You can't send 100% of your money home to like whatever your home country is. It's literally impossible.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rent,
but they don't
food,
get that.
Gas, PG&E
So,
bills.
I was pretty sure Trump's agenda was like, you need to hire Americans here. Why do you have all these Koreans all up in this warehouse? And that's why he went up in there, from what I understand. Not
But
sure.
didn't the president of Hyundai say that they're gonna shut down that plant, or there was something?
Honestly, they should.
They are seriously thinking about it, and I will say this: there's a whole lot going on from a geopolitical standpoint with some former, or maybe even current U.S. allies that are reconsidering all kinds of shit right now.
Listen,
Like,
Of course.
I don't give a shit what your legal status is in America, as long as you're paying taxes and not committing like egregious crimes. Like if you're just smoking weed, I don't really give a fuck. Just pay your fucking taxes. Work that's like literally contributing to society. And so for some reason, some folks got a problem with that, with like people just like not being white and working here. Like they're I don't get it.
You know what it really is? I mean, if we're just gonna really air things out, it's this fear, that replacement theory bullshit fear. Like, the birth rate isn't moving in the right direction. This country's getting a little too diverse. I saw a Cheerios commercial that had a biracial couple.
Oh my God.
Forgot about that.
Oh my God.
Literally,
Cheerios commercial. That set people ablaze.
It's stuff like that where you're just like, why do you care this badly? But when you got a fear of a black, brown, or yellow quote unquote planet, and you feel like your birth rates aren't moving in the right direction. Oh, and by the way, there are some white women who are not having a whole lot of births because you have terrible healthcare policies and health policies.
Yep.
Like What do we do? What do we? Even if you, quote unquote, your big thing is the white American birth rate, you're not making it easier for white babies to come into the country. You know.
That's the thing. It's like, that's the thing that like white America doesn't understand. It's like you are not going to fuck your way out of this.
No.
Wow.
No matter what policy you put out, no matter how many babies you force these women to have, you are not going to outbirth your way out of this. You need immigration in America right now, until you fix a whole lot of social policies in America. Until you address those things, the natural born American birth rates are going to continue to plummet.
Yeah,
but they don't want to address it.
And here's the other thing too. Even just from a purely economic standpoint, it's expensive as fuck to birth a kid, to raise a kid, to feed a kid, to house a kid. And it's gotten even worse of late. Like things are getting even more expensive. That people feel less secure about their jobs. People feel less secure about going to the grocery store, or even going to the fucking doctor.
Yeah. You guys heard about New Mexico, right? How they just passed a bill to allow universal free childcare.
Yes.
Nope.
I think it's like the first in the university.
I mean,
or in the university.
Honestly,
the United States.
It should be. I mean, like we pay enough in taxes to like, if you just like shave off continually, like the DoD budget and like all the waste, fraud, and abuse, the actual waste, fraud, and abuse, from like the DoD budget and like a lot of these like other things that where you can like move this money around to actually make people's lives better. People would feel more comfortable raising kids.
Yeah.
But when you literally have the minorities in America living in fear, we're not going to run it. We're not going to want to raise kids. And you also like white women in America also don't want to like have kids because of the same kind of reasons. Like it's expensive. There's no social fucking safety net. There's not even a fucking law that says how much time you can take off to have a kid in America. That does not exist. Yeah. You have to work for a quote unquote good company to give you time off.
Yep.
To have a kid.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. And at the same time, people know this and they'll talk shit about a country that has quote unquote socialism, where they can take time off to like have their kid, connect with their kids, and then come back to the workforce when they're ready. And meanwhile, here you're like, it's a fucking rat race.
Yeah. You 2 weeks. 2 weeks, you gotta be back.
No, 2 weeks, and also it's on you to pay for that ridiculously expensive daycare too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Dude, daycare could be the same price as a fucking mortgage. Yep. It gets fucking up there.
Yep.
And that's what you get. That's for like a decent one.
Daycare's a college tuition. Instead of college, you're paying for daycare. If you look at where you're paying daycare, look at the colleges closest to your daycare. They're probably very similar, or if not the same.
Look, I will say this, and I want to be real careful how I say it. Please, if you're listening to us, pay attention to some of the stuff in other countries as well. There are people who are firebenders